Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Good morning.
Good morning, real estate investors. Welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. On today's show, we're going to be answering an investor listener email. The investor wants to know what's better, a single family house, a full house, or a duplex. The email also came with other questions related to should you buy the other half, or is it better to get a duplex than a full house?
I love when questions come in because it's like topics that we probably never would have thought to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So keep them coming. Excited to talk about this and to give some insights to this listener. We also had, from yesterday's show, Kirsten had asked a follow-up question on something that we had talked about, a month ago maybe? That we never really disclosed
The tree?
Yeah, about the tree. So we want to answer that as well, which we can, I think, get into right away.
Yeah.
Okay, before we dive in.
Kirsten's actually here. She's on the live show with us. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, as we do every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Just search up the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show or Wayne Hillier, Real Estate Investing Coach, and you'll be able to find it. But yeah, Kirsten's here, and she said another wild rainstorm last night, and thank God she has a tall vehicle. Oh, she probably drove through one of those floods. Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, it got ridiculous a long time ago, but it remains ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know we need to deal with this tree here, but why don't we just wait and see if
a storm takes it out?
But then
I'd rather it not fall on a house.
This is a pretty big tree that I don't want to fall.
Yes.
Because it will definitely take out either our house or our neighbor's our rental property or our neighbor's property. So,
yes.
Yeah,
little backstory?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so just in case you weren't here for the original discussion, we have a rental property in Edmonton that has a, what would an appropriate term be? Gigantic, ginormous,
sure.
Humongous. It's a very large tree.
It's a very large tree.
In the front yard.
It's been there since, obviously it's been there since we first bought it. When we bought the property, we're like, wow, what a great tree.
What a beautiful tree.
And it provides tons of shade to a property that doesn't have air conditioning.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. Provides a little bit of security.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on a main road, but it's on a mainer road.
Main enough.
Main enough road. That, people could just look right into your front window. So it provides that little bit of security too. I like it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tree. It was honestly like a selling point for me, as trees usually are when we're looking at properties. I'm like, oh my God, like look at the weeping birch, or oh my God, look at I'm a tree lover. Okay. However, the problem with this tree is that it is so big that actually the majority of its like canopy, so this is a Manitoba maple. So the majority of its canopy actually hangs into our neighbor's yard, which is a homeowner. And as I mentioned before, it's a very large. So it's hanging over the roof. It is encroaching and crowding the trees on their property. It's become a bit of a problem, and the neighbor isn't really super stoked about it.
Yeah. It's and it's grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
Over the years, I think it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I thought for sure when I saw a picture of it, it was going to be covering 3 other neighbors as well. It just keeps on going into other neighbors' yards. It just keeps on. It's just like.
It's like the neighborhood tree. Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Anyways.
So, yeah, it is becoming a bit of, unfortunately, a problem.
Do we want to talk about this on the show, though? I'm realizing it, and I saw your note that you wrote down Kirsten's question, but I think I was pretty clear that I didn't want to talk about this on the show because I feel like this is going to draw a line. And our listeners, and the listeners here, because some people aren't going to like what we're doing.
Yeah. This was a hard one. This was really hard. And, when we were first looking at it, we were basically told, like when we had the first quotes come out, like that basically we got quotes to take it down. And I was like, oh, that wasn't really my first, thought of what was going to happen was that we were just going to take this massive tree down. So I ended up sourcing out some other contacts and getting more quotes about the possibility of just like trimming it back, right?
Yeah.
And just the more discussions that we had, trimming it back is possible, but it causes all these other potential issues because, like I said, the majority of the canopy is what's overhanging. And we just kind of have otherwise this little kind of like straight up puff. So we are taking a huge portion of the tree out. And a couple of the concerns is one, whether it does well with that. The second is that it will now require yearly maintenance. So not just the one thing and then, okay, yeah, we've dealt with it. It's good now. We don't need to worry about it for 20 years. No, it's now going to require yearly maintenance. And also, we still have the problem that the roots are intruding into our sewer lines, and which also requires yearly maintenance. So we have this tree that's causing all these additional costs to us that we're having to deal with yearly. And
long story short, keeping it will continue to cost us more money and will affect our profits for our business.
Yes. And so we unfortunately have made the very hard decision, at least for me, it was very hard and very sad that we are removing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for stirring up the wounds, Kirsten.
Yeah. And thanks for making us look like assholes.
And thanks for making us look like tree killers.
Yeah.
I guess we did that to ourselves, but yeah. So, I mean, that's that. It's not a happy ending to the tree situation, but we had to do what we had to do. So I think it's like mid-August that it's being handled, and we move on from there, right?
Still
we
not
have
a very
happy neighbor, which is always good to have happy neighbors.
That neighbor
right?
has been, yeah.
They've been unhappy about the tree for many years. Let's put it that way. Many years. It finally came to a head though, so we knew we had to do something, and yeah, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a cheap fix. I mean, cheaper than what I expected, but not a cheap fix. But you know, trimming it wasn't cheap either. Like these are big expenses.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about investing in real estate and like what kind of expenses are you gonna have to deal with, this was not a cheap one. And thank goodness we have such a strong reserve fund on that property. We put all the cash flow in the reserve for situations like this.
Yeah.
So that we can make these hard decisions quickly.
Yeah. It's funny, you know, like I had actually forgotten about this until Kristen brought it up, just because there's so much going on. Like you forget that there was like this whole tree fiasco, like right before all the rain hit, right?
Yeah.
And it's just wild, all the different things that that we've been dealing with and that come up day to day. It's like, yeah, that like none of this was, I don't think any of this was on our bingo cards. But we deal with it, and I think what are you up to today?
Someone asked a question.
Oh, sorry. Let's see here. Approximately how much to fully remove that beast, if you're okay sharing. So we are paying $2,800 to remove the tree. They're also taking down a couple of dead spruce trees, which they have comped one of them and then charging $800 for the other one. So they gave us a bit of a deal for kind of tackling the whole property and the various issues. Yeah.
So how much was it, sorry?
$2,800.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I think that like with all the stuff going on, I think that you're actually out doing some stuff today, aren't you? What are you up to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or am I dreaming? I don't know what's going on these days.
No, I'm just looking at my calendar.
I forgot about my dentist appointment yesterday.
Yeah.
I am like minute to minute, not even day by day, minute to minute.
I shit you not. She was working for, it must have been like 8 hours, maybe 7.5 hours straight. And then she's just on the couch. And then she just does one of these and just kind of falls asleep on the pillow. And then the phone kind of dings, and it's like it was a calendar reminder. And I look at it, and it's like Gabby, dentist. And I'm like, hey, Gabby, you got to go to the dentist? And she's just like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just,
so
she got a 2-second nap, and then she had to go and run, and she cleaned up her teeth, and she ran out the door. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I live off my calendar. So I hadn't really looked at my calendar to see.
I thought I saw you were going to be out today.
Yeah, I am. I think right after this episode, I need to get ready. And I'm meeting a plumber at one of our properties to look at the drain line. The drain line's been hasn't backed up all the way yet and flooded yet, but it's filled right to the brim. So if it comes up any more, then it's going to be flooding the basement. So that's a first where I caught it before it all happened. And so he's going to head there this morning, and I'm going to meet him and just have a discussion about what's up and how to deal with that. More water. Yeah, 2026. The wettest year of investing ever.
Yeah.
Then I got to head to, looks like I'm heading to Stony Plain. Yeah, it's like there's so many, when Gabby says there's so many things going on, there's like so many things in like our business, across all businesses, and also personal as well. On the way back from a soccer tournament a few weeks ago, we were driving down the highway, and I didn't notice it till I got home that I drove over wet paint. They were painting the lines in the highway, and completely spattered our vehicle. Like on the hood, on the sides, the panels, like the doors,
Wheel wells.
even the wheel wells are all completely like white paint, and the back of our vehicle. And I spent the last week and a half, 2 weeks, trying to figure out who's responsible for it. And we had to narrow it down to like, where were we? We remembered passing a painting, truck, and that was painting the lines, and just going through all that stuff, trying to figure it all out. Then getting quotes. And we've narrowed it down that it's Alberta Transportation that is responsible for it after talking to numerous offices. They have a phone number, but they don't answer it. So you have to drive all the way down to Stony Plain to go to their office to tell them, hey, your lines were wet, and I drove through it. And I've got approximately $5,000 worth of damage on my vehicle.
Wild.
So I got white paint spattered all over my vehicle that I need to get resolved. So that's just another thing. Normally I'd just be like, if it were less than $1,000, I'd just go take it to the body shop.
Yeah,
and
just do it.
It's fucking, I don't give a shit. It's expensive. I don't care. But $5,000. So now I got to drive all the way out to Stony Plain to go and to this office. Hopefully somebody's there. And deal with that shit. So I'm dealing with that today. It's the one day that I can like sneak out and go and do that, because I wanted to do it last week, but I have no time to be able to do something like that. And it's so sad that like we are so incredibly busy and tied to our desks that we can't get out and do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be running to take care of that today. I have a full agenda, actually. I'm looking at my calendar. Then I'm heading to meet one of our joint venture partners. We're opening a joint bank account together.
Ooh. Fun.
Yeah. So I got to go take care of that. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I slipped that in the calendar, and I don't think I told you.
Like I said, I live off my calendar. So excited to go see our joint venture partner. We purchased a property with him recently, and the property's going fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And need a joint bank account so that way we can have all the expenses come in out of that account, plus having all the rent going into that account. And then I have to go check in on one of our flooded properties. This property flooded weeks ago, and no one's been in there in about a week, which is not something I'm proud of.
We're running out of people, the people to property ratio.
Yeah, and since I'm gonna be driving around anyways, the other thing is that Gabby and myself have never been there physically ourselves
Since it flooded. Yeah.
And I trust everyone, but I need to verify. And so I need to see what the situation is. All I have is invoices and this property, I don't have many pictures. So I need to be able to see what's going on. Our decision for this property has been, we're going to wait till it stops fucking raining before we start putting anything back together. And there's a few of our properties where we've just decided, nope. Tenants have moved out of it, or, or if it's a newly acquired property or a vacant property, we're just going to leave it right now because, like Kirsten said, in the chat here on YouTube a few minutes ago, another crazy rainstorm last night. And, if you look up Edmonton rainfall, you're going to see all the videos. Even just yesterday, downtown flooded. City Center Mall was flooding. The roads, the windy roads, what do you call them? Down, like leading into downtown. Mm-hmm. What do you, like the whatever.
I don't think you call them anything. They're just roads that lead into downtown.
Yeah, but it's in the river valley there, leading up to going to downtown. There's all those, roads there. They were completely flooded yesterday, just in the middle of the day. Yeah. Just because the rain came in so freaking fast, and so
hot and heavy.
I saw another video, even a new development area, like brand new houses. The streets were completely flooded, and people, like the water was up to the door handles, like, and it sounds like it's just going to keep on happening. Yeah. And every other day,
tornado warning today.
Another tornado warning coming this afternoon for Edmonton. Hail, like, we are in the middle of the rapture, and the last thing I want to do is go finish one of the basements just to find out that it reflooded again, because that's already happened to us.
Yes, that has happened to us.
Happened to us last week. Yeah. We had a property that flooded, newly renovated basement. It floods. We pull everything out. We dry it all. We clean it. We put it back together. What happens? It flooded again. So at this point, we are just taking a step back, and we are just going to wait and see. If it's just going to keep continuing to rain every other day and flood the city, I'm not going to spend any more money on anything. Mm-hmm. But we do need to keep eyes on these properties just in case they are flooding again. Yeah.
We don't want water sitting in there and we don't know, and then mold and all that.
It is crazy though. And like, it's been a few weeks now. And like, even at the beginning of all this, I said, I don't want to talk about this in the podcast. But it's become such a major issue for so many people who are investing in Edmonton and the Edmonton area that I think we do need to talk about it. But it's just, there's nothing you can do other than grab your ankles. This is like, it's bad. And every time it floods, and it needs to be, what's the term for vacuuming out the water?
Extracted.
Yeah, thank you. There's a term that I keep seeing on all the invoices. What's water extraction?
Water extraction.
Water extraction.
Bulk water extraction.
What is it?
Bulk water extraction.
Not a term that I ever wanted to learn. Every time bulk water extraction is required, it requires somebody to go in there, vacuum it all up, and then throw a ridiculous amount of fans in there, which the fans and the dehumidifiers are arguably the most valuable piece of machinery in the city right now. And what are we paying for like 3 days worth of fans and dehumidifiers for a basement?
Depends how many you need, how the square footage of the area that you're drying out. But for that process, for the bulk water extraction, usually like removal of baseboards and stuff, and then setting up the equipment to dry.
Do we want a drum roll?
Usually about $5,000.
You made that seem like it was nothing. Like we've done that so many times already.
Wayne, we have done that so many times already in the last.
It's usually about $5,000.
Okay. The amount of like $2,000 deposits, $3,000 deposits, $4,000 to clear up the invoice, like the amount of multiple thousands of dollar swipes of my credit card that I have been making for the past month is absolutely insane. Like I have never, besides like purchasing a property, you put a big down payment, you go get a bank draft and stuff. I have never spent so much money at once, like ever in my life. It is actually crazy. And these, like, I wonder, I mean, I know that these like remediation companies and all these various contractors and stuff that are stepping in and picking up the slack because it's so hard to find remediation companies. I know that they're all probably like so tired and like so flat out and just, like it's been an insane month for them. But I wonder what their bottom line is going to look like this year. Like, I wonder how well their businesses will come out of this looking like. It's going to be absolutely insane.
I mean, the rental revenue alone on the machines
Yeah.
is, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, sorry. Still an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. So, praying to God that I don't go and walk into a wet basement there. It's also incredibly expensive to have someone go down there every single day to see if it's
flooded or
if it's flooded.
dry.
You know what I mean? If I got to pay someone an hour or 2 hours to go drive down to every one of our properties to see if the basement's flooded every single day.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much that's going to cost. Like it's...
Yeah. And there's also just like this ripple effect happening right now as well, because you think, oh, okay, everybody's getting flooded. So these remediation companies are flat out and these contractors are flat out because they're stepping in to help as well. But there's also this ripple effect of what's causing the floods. So your gutter guys are also flat out and it's almost impossible to find people for gutter repairs. Mm-hmm. Your landscapers are flat out. They are out quoting for grading, weeping tile, like all kinds of stuff, window wells, repairing window wells. They are also flat out. So you have this ripple effect of all these different trades that are so busy. And what's happening because of that is it's equally as hard to actually repair the issue as it is to just put your suite back together.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one thing to like clean it out, dry it up, do the repairs to actually have a livable space again. But then also before you do that, you want to repair what the weakness was that caused the flood in the first place. And that's just as hard to get done. So when we're talking about, we don't want to put them back together, well, we don't want to put them back together until we know that like we have a solid, there's no weak points that are going to, if we keep getting hammered, this isn't going to keep happening again and again, right?
Yeah.
So what this really does is it's exposed the weak points of your properties that maybe have never been an issue for the past 10 years that you've owned, 10, 20 years. People are saying like, I've owned my property for 20 years. I've never had a drop of water come through my property. And now I have a $40,000 renovation to fix this.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely exposed some weaknesses.
But, these are historical numbers for rainfall. So it's like, it is what it is, but I sound like a broken record here, but this is why we teach what we teach. This is why we teach to not spend your cash flow. Like I could have never have seen this coming, but it did. And, just when you think you got it all figured out, there's lots of things that can come in. There's lots of storms that can come in, literally and figuratively, that can wipe you out. And this is one of those ones that I'm seeing wiping out a lot of amateur investors and amateur landlords and property owners, like to the point where like they cannot afford to fix this.
Yeah.
They cannot afford to deal with this. And if your insurance isn't covering it or the deductible's too high or, you can't afford to repair this yourself, I mean, you're screwed. So don't spend your cash flow. Don't rely on it. Keep all the cash flow in your reserve fund. Let it build up. And that way, when you have something like this happen, you can go to your reserve fund that has tens of thousands of dollars in it. And it's like, okay, swipe.
Yeah. But
it doesn't make it feel any better, but it does make the whole situation easier in knowing, hey, there's nothing else I can do here. Yeah. It is what it is. And I saw that in the comments earlier. It is what it is. You deal with it. It's part of the ownership of that property. Now, does that ruin my profits for this deal? Absolutely not. I mean, all of these properties are still incredibly profitable. They still have tremendous cash flow. It just means that I had to dig into my reserve a little bit for a crazy circumstance that should have never happened in the first place. First time it's happened in 100 years.
Yeah. Who's looking forward to winter?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Things we never thought that Albertans would be looking forward to is for winter to come back.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna go do my tour today. That'll be the last stop on the tour, checking in on that property. And then I got to rush home because right after that, it's Tuesday. And Tuesday is our weekly coaching session for our students in the REI Master's Mentorship Program. Yes. So tonight we're going to be, we got that 7 o'clock. I was just taking a peek here and seeing topics for tonight, what our students are wanting to go through. So on our weekly coaching sessions, it's not a presentation. I'm not, I'm not having a guest speaker come and speak at this, talking about whatever. And we're not doing deal pitches or fucking, we don't do presentations or anything like that. What it is, it's actual coaching. And I think that if you're going to join a coaching program or a mentorship program, you actually want coaching, right? So each of our students have action items that they're supposed to be working on for the quarter. And then as they're working through those action items, they have questions, they have troubles, they hit hurdles, right? And then they're able to every week bring those things to us so we can help them overcome those obstacles. I'm not going to say who and exactly what, but one of our students wants to crunch some numbers for a rent-to-own deal. So we're going to be going through deal analysis for rent-to-own. Doing number crunching. Then we're going to be talking about delegating tasks effectively. One of our students is building a wholesaling business, and he is building out his team in that city and wants to learn how to go about delegating those tasks, how to go about making sure that he's not doing everything himself, and then setting clear expectations for that delegation. And I see another one here where one of our students wants to go over a reserve fund study. And so one of our students is purchasing a new property. They have an accepted offer. They have the condo documents now, and they have some questions about the reserve fund study to find out, is this a good condo corporation? Mm-hmm. So that's just a few of them that we're going to be dealing with tonight. So a pretty busy day.
Yeah.
We get up at 6. And then I think we'll probably be done around, and from this podcast to doing all those things today to probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be balls to the wall, nonstop, full on real estate investing business and coaching real estate investors. That is a full 16 hours of nonstop real estate investing. Working overtime today. So thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. It's going to be a busier one.
It's going to be a good day.
What's tomorrow look like before I take a commercial break here? I hope that tomorrow is
chill.
Just absolutely chill. Tomorrow, it is chill. Look at that.
Nothing.
I even blocked off my calendar. Do you see where it says busy there?
Yeah, it says busy.
I blocked off my calendar for this week so that I didn't have to take any calls and nobody booked anything. So I legit have absolutely nothing in the calendar tomorrow. And I pray to God that I don't find anything today that ruins that.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick little commercial break. When we come back, we're going to answer the listener question that was sent in. The investor sent an email into us. And if you want to send in any emails, you just send it into info@reimorningshow.com. Any questions you have about real estate investing, we will answer them for you for free. The question, we'll read the email in a minute, has to do with the difference between single family and duplex. Should you buy a single family full house or should you buy a duplex? Which one's better? And then additionally on top of that, if there is a half duplex that you are looking at, should you buy both sides of that duplex and own the whole building? Is there any benefits to that? So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to dive right into those.
Real estate investors need to treat debt differently than homeowners, and at Kirkland & Brennan Mortgage Group, we understand that. For the last 11 years, we've helped real estate investors plan and build their portfolios. We understand how to help you avoid fees, penalties, getting yourself stuck, and making sure that the deal you're doing today doesn't stop the deal you want to do tomorrow. You can reach out to Keaton, Keaton, at kbmortgages.ca. Put plan in the subject line and we'll help you build a plan and then realize it for your real estate goals. We also coordinate with your other professionals like your accountant, lawyer, realtor, and we will help you build your portfolio. So reach out. We'll do our best to help. Thanks, guys.
You've got showings, lease signings, suite renos, condo board meetings, credit checks, mortgage financing, and every so often the tenant clogs the sink because they shoved macaroni down there. Stop. Breathe. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo. Fingo is specialized real estate bookkeeping by real estate investors with tailored services for maximum returns. Save time. Enhance your returns. Claim the plumbing repair for that ridiculous macaroni fiasco. Book your free consultation at fingo.com.
Summer. While everyone's getting distracted, this is when the market gets quiet. Not because the opportunities disappear, but because the people do. Vacations, long weekends, these are the distractions I'm talking about. And that's exactly when serious investors make their moves. At Calvin Realty, this is one of our favorite windows. Less competition, more flexibility, and sellers who are actually open to negotiating. While everyone else is stepping away, we're stepping in. If you're looking to buy right, not just buy fast, this is your edge. Calvin Realty. Opportunity doesn't take time off.
Right?
Right.
Exactly. Stuart in the comments here, I just wanted to read his comment. He's live on YouTube. He says, I bet almost any amount of money the storm sewers needed an upgrade that got spent on progressive nonsense instead. Or they just flat out neglected them and there's blockages somewhere. Let's not get political, but
well, it definitely exposed just as our properties were exposed for their weaknesses, definitely storm sewers and stuff were also exposed for their weaknesses. There is a lot of work going on in the city right now upgrading them, unfortunately. A few
of our properties, like we've seen, the alleys are getting redone.
Yeah,
because they're all getting dug up and the storm drains are being dealt with. So it is happening. And I even called EPCOR yesterday and was trying to get some information about the drain that I'm going to check out this morning. And they gave an automated message saying that they're not going to anyone's house to look at anything right now. And it's funny because I think I talked to somebody was saying that you should, plumber maybe, saying that you should go and talk to EPCOR first to see if
this
sewer
is a
line,
city problem,
if it's a city problem first before you go and pay somebody, and sometimes they can go and clear it for you or resolve it. And I called them and they said we're not going to any properties right now. Obviously, I mean they're busy as hell.
Yeah, everybody's flat out. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Oh God, there's this podcast episode. You know what? I'm not going to do this on the podcast. I'm going to do this just in REI Masters. And if anybody's interested in this, if any of our students are interested in this, send me a message and we can talk about it tonight. I have been working on, not a theory, but just an opportunity. And whenever things happen, actions create reactions, right? Whenever things happen, opportunities are created, right? What may seem to be a bad situation can obviously turn into an opportunity. And I have found a very unique opportunity, at least in the Edmonton market recently, because of all of this rain. And I've noticed it firsthand where I've been fortunate enough in order to receive that opportunity. So remind me, students.
What? Cryptic much?
I was going to say it, but I'm looking at the clock and we've got 25 minutes left for these two questions. So I'm sorry. It is what it is. Do I not?
What are you talking about? Okay, I'll
Okay, fine. 2 words. Jet ski rescue. We'll see you guys tonight on the REI Masters coaching session.
Wasn't that technically
and
3 words?
If you're not in the REI Masters mentorship program, go to reimasters.ca and join.
Sign up before tonight.
Sign up to find out what is that all about.
That was
segue.
That was so stupid.
Segue.
Okay, we had a listener.
Video swipe.
Phew. All right, so we had a question come in from a listener by email last night, which we are going to get right into. The email reads, Hi, Wayne. I'm getting ready to...
Just me?
Just you. It's okay. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. I don't take offense. No. You need a mic if you're going to say anything. You're just staring down. I can't tell. Is Craig going to join REI Masters before tonight, or is he backing you up? Is he like your...
Craig's a business owner. He must see the opportunity that I see in jet ski rescue. But don't change the subject.
Okay.
All right.
It's okay, you guys. Wayne is definitely the leader of our businesses. I am the master of our systems, so it's all good. I don't mind when people ask Wayne specifically questions. I'm not offended. I'm not hurt. Everything's all good. Okay. I could have just gotten right into the question, but it says hi, Wayne. So hi, Wayne. Okay. I'm getting ready to make a purchase and wanted to ask you a couple of questions and get your thoughts. First, should I buy a single family house or a duplex? And also...
Okay. Single family house or duplex?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I'm looking at buying this half duplex. I think I'm going to write an offer, but then I was thinking that I should talk to the owner of the other side to see if they want to sell. This way I would own both sides. Is this a good idea? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Okay, so all very much surrounded around, should I own a full duplex versus single family versus half duplex, and benefits of those different situations or considerations.
Yeah. What's the first part of the question?
Should I buy a single family house or a duplex?
If you were to compare both, you would have to create a table of all the pros and all the cons of owning one compared to the other. I feel like this is a dumb exercise, but everybody in the chat, I'd like you guys to comment in the chat here for me real quick.
I thought we were going to close our eyes. I was getting ready.
You can close
It's
your
like,
eyes, but I need you to type too. Can you type with your eyes closed?
No.
Okay.
If I had a keyboard, I could.
This is a really dumb exercise, but I'd like everyone to tell me why you invest in real estate specifically. Why are you buying a piece of real estate? What are you hoping for? I will wait. The worst part is there's like a 10-second delay or like a 5-second delay
Before
on YouTube.
yeah.
So it's going to take even longer to get the answer. And if anybody says financial freedom, you are in the wrong room. The Congo line is next door.
We can hear the music. We can hear the dance party.
Yeah. All right. So the first one came in. And the first one says cash flow. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just cash flow? Just cash flow? Is that all? Why does anyone invest in anything?
Put their money to work.
Put their money to work, right?
So it's not just sitting there.
All right. What you're doing is not just in real estate, but, and I see money. There's money emojis. Profit. Thank you. Right? You are putting your money to work, as Gabby said, to earn more and grow your money. Take what you have, invest it into something so that it grows into more money, right? And so that should be the main consideration when you're deciding whether to do a single family, like a full house, or a duplex, okay? It should just come down to which one is going to get me the most profit. Now, a lot of people think that by owning two, therefore it is better. Not automatically, right? Next question I have to ask, and thank you guys for answering, playing along. Next question I have to ask is, depending on where this person is, the definition of duplex can be interpreted differently across Canada. Yeah. Many east of Saskatchewan will call it house with a basement suite a duplex, right? But normally, by definition, a duplex is a side-by-side property. So are we talking about a side-by-side property, or are we talking about a house with a basement suite? Okay. So it's two completely different questions with two completely different answers, but more or less the same answer. Actually, I'll provide you the same answer. And thank you, Stacy. I see your answer there too. Stacy says cash flow.
And Stuart, I invest so that I can live when I can't work anymore. Yeah.
Yes, but in order to do that, you would need
to make your money work for itself.
more money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. That's why I said specifically. A lot of people, they focus in on the dream, but that, like, you have to understand that there's an
to
underlying
make more money.
yeah, more money to provide you the ability to be able to do that. It all comes down to money.
Yeah.
So we need to understand whether it's a side-by-side duplex or an up-down duplex. That's another part of the question. And so
Manny made a good point. Further in the email, it said they mentioned buying the other side of a half duplex. So we can assume that they're talking side by side.
I did assume that, yeah. But I just wanted to, I have noted that it may be, but I don't think it changes the answer very much because, well, it could. One benefit to owning a duplex as opposed to, let's say, owning a house with a basement suite as opposed to owning a house just as its own, means that you are generating more revenue, which a lot of people look at. They're like, well, why would I rent out this house for $2,000 when I could rent it out for $3,000?
Right.
There's a lot of misconceptions around suited houses that I don't have time to dive into every single one that you guys are thinking. But another thing that people think is that by buying a house, a duplex, you're going to get $2,000 for upstairs and $2,000 for downstairs. That's not the case. Typically, what's going to happen is that if you rented the whole house, you would get $2,000, for example. But then if you rented the two suites separately, you would get $1,500 for each suite. So you're actually getting $3,000. You're getting 50% more. So let's say if you bought it for $400,000, you could rent it out for $2,000. Okay, cool. Or you can spend $100,000 on it, add a basement suite. Now it's worth $500,000, but you can bring in $3,000 worth of rent should you do it. Now that math alone right there is pretty simple because it's like, I'm going to increase my revenue by 50%, but I'm only increasing the expenses by 25%.
Right.
Very, very generic, basic math there, right? Because I'm turning it from 400,000 into 500,000, increasing it by 25%, which means my expenses should go up by 25% based off of property taxes, insurance, and mortgage, right?
Yeah.
But I'm increasing my revenue by 50%. Very basic math here. I don't have time to go through our deal analyzer today. But generally speaking, yes, it would make sense in that case. But it really depends on the numbers, right? And you should be looking at it through that lens. You should be thinking about it that way. Okay, cool. Yes, it makes sense. I am increasing the revenue, but how much more expenses am I incurring? And does it still make sense? What I've done is I've taken a full house that was very appealing to the tenants in my tenant pool in my market, and I've split it into two units now, a main floor and a basement suite. Is it still as appealing? Are these the types of tenants that I want to be dealing with? You know what I mean? These are the types of questions you should be asking yourself. Is it more profitable? Does it make more sense? Right? Am I attracting the right types of tenants for who I want to be doing business with and also what my market actually wants? Those are the types of things you want to be looking at, right? That would be if it was like comparing it to a full house compared to a house with a basement suite. If you're comparing it, the other benefit, I was going to add, was that it's only one mortgage. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people are very conscious of how many mortgages they're using on their personal name. So if you wanted to get a larger asset that produced more revenue, more rental income, and only have it under one mortgage, that would be great. Because if you weren't going to do that, you would spend your money on another property and get another mortgage, and that would be a con. So there is one benefit, I'd say, and that the major benefit is that it's just under one mortgage, right? But a duplex generally, meaning a side-by-side duplex, generally speaking, if it were one title, the property were one title, meaning that like it was a side-by-side duplex and you only needed to get one mortgage, then yeah, there would be benefit to that because you're only using one mortgage. Mortgages are valuable. There are a finite amount that you can get depending on your financial situation. So that would be a benefit, right? But is it a large enough benefit to offset a potentially poor performing property?
Right.
So you, at the end of the day, you still need to go back to the numbers. You still need to go back to why are you buying real estate in the first place? Why are you investing? You are investing to get good returns on your money. I am putting $100,000 in. How much is coming back? Right? The other element, which I don't have time to really get into, is that how risky is this investment? If you want to learn how to reduce your risk for each of your properties, go pick up my book, The 5% Rule. I don't know if you can grab it or not. That one. Look it up on Amazon, okay? That will teach you what you need to know about how much cash flow you need in order to reduce your risk. But ultimately, what we want is we want to focus on the numbers for profitability. We are putting money in to get as much money back as possible. And whether it's a single family or a duplex is kind of irrelevant unless, of course, one produces a better return on my investment than the other. Or if one has higher cash flow, which will reduce my risks and make my investment safer. So that's what I look at. I don't look at the third thing is that I look at, like, who am I doing business with? This property that I'm buying, do I have lots of people that want to rent it? Right. Do I have a large tenant pool, and are these the types of tenants that I want to be renting to? So those are three considerations. So when I look at the numbers and then I look at the tenant profile for that in that market, and I look at the potential for that type of asset too, is this the type of property that's going to be going up in value in the next 10 to 20 years? Which one makes the most sense? When people ask a simple question like single family house or duplex, which one's better? Well, show me the numbers.
Yeah.
Show me the math, and I will answer that for you. But, this duplex in Brampton compared to this single family house in Welland compared to this suited house in Edmonton, you can't just answer it simply by looking at a picture of it. You have to look underneath the hood and see, is this performing well as an investment? And don't just go by some, random podcaster who you listened to the other day. So, real estate's going up. It's going up in Ontario. Oh boy, it's booming. Or, don't buy there. It's a shitty place to buy. Don't listen to those people because they don't know fucking anything. Nobody has a crystal ball about what real estate's going to do. The only thing you have control over is you can do your research. You can buy the properties that have the highest potential based off of the information that you have. Cross your fingers, but the properties that you buy, it's the systems you put in place and how you buy them that determine whether they're going to be profitable, regardless of whether it appreciates or not. Because I have no control over what the value of real estate does over the next 15, 20 years or over the next 5 years, I like to play for the long term. Because I have no control over that, I want to know that the real estate that I buy is profitable regardless of whether the asset goes up in value or not. Can I buy a property for $400,000 that stays at $400,000 for 10 years and yet I still make money?
Right.
And that I can hold for 10 years without ever being pressured into having to sell, right? It's the systems that we teach. It's the fundamentals that we teach in the 5% rule that I said, go get that book. All of those things ensure that you can hold that property for that time in order to realize the potential gains in appreciation, right? So single family duplex, it's irrelevant. You have to look at it underneath the hood to determine which one's best for the numbers, and then obviously which one has the highest potential for appreciation in the market that it's in and the neighborhood that it's in. And is there a demand for this type of property as a rental property? Is there lots of people looking to rent this, and are these the type of people that I want to do business with? Pulling all that away, if you ask me simply, I would say if you can get a duplex on one mortgage, there's more benefit to having a duplex on one mortgage than having one property on one mortgage. So if you can get two properties on one mortgage as opposed to one property on one mortgage, there would obviously be a benefit there if nothing else was to be considered. That would be the only thing that you would consider in that question. or to answer that is, what are the benefits, right? Otherwise, there's no benefits, which leads me into the second part of the question. And if you could just reread that again, just so I make sure that I have this, I understand this properly.
Okay, so the second part of the question is, I'm looking at buying this half duplex. I think I'm going to write an offer, but then I was thinking I should talk to the owner on the other side to see if they want to sell. This way I'd own both sides. Is this a good idea?
You would not believe the amount of new investors that reach out to me that say, I'm buying this house and I want to talk to my neighbor because I want to own both sides, and then I can turn it into a fourplex.
Or I want to own the street. Yeah.
Or I want to own the whole street. And it's all in their head about how they feel about it, and not actually focusing on the most important thing, which is the numbers. People will make investment decisions based off of how it makes them feel and not how much money they're actually making. And it exposes the real estate investing industry for just how incredibly
emotional
and uninformed
this
industry is. The amount, and I see it every day in Facebook groups. I see it every day when people reach out to me and ask me questions. And I try not to be a dick about it. That's not the point. I'm like, oh, you're stupid. That's not the way to think about it. I need to be considerate. I need to be empathetic about like the fact that this individual doesn't know.
They just don't know.
They don't know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm willing to...
Yet. They don't know yet.
And if that person is open to listening, I can teach them some things that can help them make better investment decisions that are less emotional and more logical. But if the individual doesn't want to listen and they're convinced that they're right, then at the end of the day, I just shrug my shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. But this resource here that we provide every weekday morning for you, which is the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show, where we provide free education and the ability to send in questions like this, if more people listen to this, they would understand how to properly analyze rental properties, how to make better decisions for their future and for their portfolio. So the idea that I own both sides is like, there's really no benefit to it, especially when it's a half duplex, because if you own half a duplex, that already tells me that those are split into two titles. And if it's on two titles, both halves of the duplex, then you can't get one mortgage on it. You would be getting two mortgages. So you're essentially buying two properties that are just happen to be stuck together. But what benefit is there for you in that investment? Well, they're closer together, so I don't have to go very far. From a value perspective, there's really no value there. I promise you, there's really no value there. Because I'll tell you, Gabby and I rarely ever go to any of our properties. It doesn't really fucking matter where they are and how close they are.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't.
Even if you're completely self-managing your own properties, the only reason I could see where them being in the same location would actually make a difference in that argument would be if you were doing like quarterly inspections or something, where you're literally, doing all properties. So you need to go to all locations and, they're together. So, but other than that, it's not like when the toilet breaks down at side 1 that you're also going to have to go to side 2 to deal with a leaking window. Like, no, things aren't going to happen at the same time, that there's going to be a benefit that they're in the same location.
Well, like even on the quarterly inspections thing, if you're out checking on your properties and you said that they would be beside each other, they're closer, quantify that for me.
Yeah, if those were the only 2 properties you owned, great.
No, I'm asking you, quantify
like
that for me.
What savings
quantify
is there?
That. What is the actual savings?
Maybe like a 10 or 15 minute time savings.
From driving from one property to the other?
And maybe like a 30-cent gas savings.
Yeah, if you're doing it yourself, maybe $1 worth of gas. Yeah. Or if you're paying someone $20 an hour to do that for you, and you're saving 15 minutes, you just save $5.
Yay.
See what I mean? Like, and like if you had the choice, if all things were created equal, if apples to apples, you had a half duplex here, they're right beside each other, and then you had a half duplex on the other side of the city, and they were exactly the same. Same numbers, same price, same tenant profile, same, then I'd say, yeah, take the two that are beside each other. Right. I mean, I guess that makes more sense. But if they're not the same, and you have an opportunity to buy another half duplex on the other side of the city that can produce a significantly higher return on investment, higher cash flow, and a better tenant profile that's in better shape, why would you buy the one next to it when you could buy something that's completely better over here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's really no logic behind it. There's no benefit to owning the other side. Oh, but if I'm doing the roof, I can do it at the same time, I'll get a better deal. I promise you, if you were to actually quantify the actual true value of owning them beside each other, it's peanuts. It's absolutely, it's pennies. There isn't really any benefits. And the idea that I'm going to own both sides and then add basement suites and turn it into a fourplex is a completely separate calculation. Then we need to determine, can you dissolve, that barrier? You would have to go and rezone the property, which is not an easy thing to do. Rezone it because you own both. You'd have to put in all the application fees and requests and everything else and RPR, everything, real property report, to turn this into a duplex. But then you'd have to make a request to add basement suites to it to convert it into a fourplex. But then the question is, how much did you pay for both sides of that? If you paid $400,000 for each side, you're into it for $800,000, plus all the costs in order to make it on one title. Then how much is it going to cost to add said basement suites to that property? Let's say $100,000 per side. So now you bought it for 400 plus fees, which we'll ignore for a second. Then you got 100 and 100. You are now into that property for $1 million. What's it worth? You don't get to determine what it's worth. What it's worth when it's on residential, meaning less than 5 doors, it's worth what other fourplexes like that property, similar characteristics in the same area that have sold in the last 3 to 6 months. So you'll have to look in your market to see what types of properties like this, one titled side-by-side duplexes with basement suites, have sold for recently. That will tell you the appraised value of it. And if it's not worth more than $1 million or significantly more than $1 million, then why are you doing it? What's the upside? There is literally no benefit or upside. And I would say 99.9% of the time, it does not make sense to put it all into one title, to add basement suites, to do all of that work. That's a significant amount of work, with a significant amount of risk too, because things go wrong, renovations, you find something, you got to update this, all the additional costs, the holding costs for 6 months while you're doing all the renovations because it's vacant. All that money adds up. Next thing you know, you're into it for $1,050,000, and then you get an appraisal done and you find out it's only worth $1,075,000. Yay, you made 25 grand.
Or not even.
In a lot of cases, is actually worth less than what people spend on it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I didn't want to be too negative, but that's what ends up happening is that, because I've run these numbers a million times with other investors. People have brought deals to me. They book one-on-one coaching calls with me. They're like, hey, I want you to analyze this deal. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. And in theory, it all sounds good. Why would you take something have something that's making this, but can we get the highest and best use out of this property? And I'm not trying to be the wet blanket that just kills your dreams, but more often than not, it doesn't make sense. But if you do want to know, now you know how to analyze it. I'm not saying never do it. What I'm saying is now I want to teach you how to go about running those numbers to make sure that is this the right idea. The theory is cool, but now let's look underneath the hood. Let's do a full analysis of this asset to determine, does adding all of this money in increase the value? So are we going to make money off of the increased value? Are we building equity? How much money am I able to get back out afterwards? Can I refinance this property and recoup some of those costs? Because remember, I bought 2 properties for $80,000 each because I put 20% down on both those $400,000 half duplexes. Then I spent $10,000 on RPR drawings and all the zoning bullshit. So I'm into it for 80 is 160 plus 10. I'm into it for 170. And then I spent $100,000 on each side for renovations. So what am I? 170 plus 100 plus 100. I'm into this property for $370,000. That's how much money invested I have in it. Can I restructure the financing? Can I refinance this property and pull some of that money back out? Because I have $370,000 in on a $1,050,000 asset. That means that I'm leveraged at like 63% or something like that. If my math is, I'm doing too much right now, but I've got at least 35% invested as opposed to 20%. I don't want to have that much money in there because that's going to dramatically decrease my return on investment. So how much of that money can I get back out? That's another consideration you have to look into. And even if you can get most of your money back out and you are now leveraged to 80%, meaning you only have 20% in, meaning this $1 million asset, I only have a little over $200,000 in and I have an $800,000 mortgage, great. Now with that $800,000 mortgage and the property taxes and the insurance, what are my total fixed expenses and what is the total rental income that I can get for this property? Now you can look at this as an actual business, the business of renting it, because everything up until that point has been trying to increase the value of the property. It's been like a flip to yourself. Now that that's done, and now that this is now a rental property with 4 units in it, we need to look at this as a business and figure out how much rental income is coming in, how many fixed expenses are going out, what is my total profit for the year, what is my monthly cash flow. I need to look at my profit and then divide that by the money that I have in to determine what is my return on investment every year. The $200,000 that I have invested in, how much money is coming back out every year, that will determine what my return on investment is every year. Additionally, the amount of money that I have in, $200,000, how much cash flow is coming out every month or every year? And that will determine how risky this investment is. Is everybody still following?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
My arms are crossed.
Who's following? Who loves this? Who can tell he's passionate about it? Because I'm not going to lie. I don't know what happened the last 3 or 4 minutes.
The good thing is it's recorded.
Yes.
And you can go back. And a lot of people like to listen to 2 times speed or 1.5 times speed. That's one where you go down to 0.5.
Yeah. Slow it down.
But again, I don't want to tell you what's right and what's wrong. What I want to do is I want to teach you how to figure it out for yourself. And that's how you do it. That's how you figure it out. So it's not a simple question that I can give you a simple answer for, right? That is how you determine it. That and a few other considerations like tenant profile, like that market, and yes, we are able to make money on the renovation to ourselves, flip to ourselves. Yes, the new fourplex is actually a profitable property. It makes money regardless of appreciation. It's making a solid 20% ROI every year. And it passes the 5% rule. I picked up the book, I checked it out, I checked the cash on cash, and it actually, yes, indeed does pass the 5% rule. So it's a good, safe investment that's sustainable. It's a good property that's getting me a solid ROI without appreciation. But you do still need to take appreciation into consideration as well. Because most of your profits over the long term will actually come from the value of the property increasing. So, is there potential for appreciation for an asset like this as well? That's the last thing you got to learn how to figure out. You can't just be like, well, it's a booming market and they're building a new plant nearby, so lots of people are going to be moving here. There is way more that you need to learn than that. And if you think you understand real estate investing, I promise you don't. Most people don't. Nobody can. Nobody knows if values are going to go up or down. You don't. I do not claim to have a crystal ball. I do not. But what I understand is trends. I understand people, and I understand the affordability in Canada. And through all that, is Craig here? Craig and I had a call yesterday, and I gave him I gave him like a very bite-sized lesson on how to determine whether the values are going to go up or not. And I hope that he enjoyed that yesterday. If you understand how real estate works and you understand supply and demand truly, and not just what you think, then you can predict probabilities. And probabilities are the best that we have. So we want to buy the properties that can make money regardless of appreciation, that have a high probability for value increase as well. That also we are servicing tenants who want this type of property. There's a demand for it. And those are the types of tenants and clients that we want to do business with. Once you've understood all of that, then you can decide whether it makes sense to buy a single family house or a duplex, or if you're going to be buying a half duplex, whether it makes sense to buy the other side of it and add basement suites and refinance and everything else you wanted to do. And that's today's show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like that, if you know somebody that doesn't know that, or if you know somebody that really needs to hear that, share this with them. Seriously. We do it for free. We do it for you guys for every day. There's no, I'm not, you know what we should do? I should get our daughter to walk around with a stick in a basket and go down the aisles. You never been to church, eh? You never got the collection basket? Gabby's never been to church. It's okay. It's okay. Did I just out you?
Are you trying to draw like more lines? I'm already a tree killer.
She's a tree killer and a heathen.
Cut this episode. Go. Bye.
But we should get our daughter to go around with a collection basket afterwards, and people can just put their $20 bills in it. And but we
What's
don't.
What's the stick for?
So you can reach down the aisles.
Oh, okay. I thought
The
you
collection
were, like,
basket.
poking people.
It's a long. The pews are long.
Okay.
So they have a long stick, and the kids will come by, and then people will put money in for the church. Anyways, but we don't do that. We don't do that. We do this for free, and so that you guys can benefit from getting free, proper education. And I'm telling you right now, there are lots of people that are paying thousands of dollars every year, tens of thousands of dollars every year on education, and they've never heard that before. Want to know how I know? Because I talk to people who are in other programs that pay tens of thousands of dollars that have never heard that before. Where someone has told them that, oh yeah, absolutely buy the other half. Twice as much, twice the money.
One location.
So, hopefully that helps, guys. We hope you appreciate it. We appreciate you being here. We love doing this every morning. As you can tell, I'm very passionate. Like Gabby said, I'm very passionate about this stuff, and I love helping people. And what I want more Canadians across Canada to understand this better so that everybody can own at least one rental property. And if everybody did, just imagine how much better off every single Canadian family would be if we all had our own investments that were performing well like we do.
Yeah.
So it's my mission, and I'm going to continue to keep missioning. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.